Hey, Laura. Hey, Michelle. Welcome, 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 everybody coming on. We'll be starting in just a few short seconds, so hang tight. And so we've got London in the house. We got people all over the world for this. I apologize if we sent you, I sent a batch telephone call to remind you about the call. If you're living in a place where I sent that call in the middle of the night, I apologize. But glad that you all made it to the call. We have more people than this in the course as well. So some people I know will be joining us late. Some people may not be able to be on the live call. And we'll talk about all the housekeeping and how that works as we progress here. If you can't be on the live calls and stuff, we'll give you the little info in terms of what you can do and how to progress and navigate through that. But thrilled that you're here. It's really cool because we've got this class that's starting up. This is class number 1 for you guys. And we've got, we're on class number, well, we're on the last class, really. This is our last week of the course that started before you. So this is the second time that we're doing our transformational hypnosis course. The first class that we just had started in January, and they're just graduating right now, which is pretty cool. So I've got right after our call, we'll be jumping off, and then I'll be jumping back on with our previous class and wrapping up their class today and on Thursday. So kind of neat. And the really cool thing is that the class that just came out before you, which was our first ever class that we've done this way, has really gotten just a tremendous amount of education. Their skills have really leapt up. They've got the model, which I'm thrilled about. So I'm very happy with the way that the course has gone. So that makes me even more excited to launch this particular training right now. It was only the second time that we've ever taught it online, but I did make some distinctions the last class that I taught. What's cool about when you come in to access these calls, what's cool about being on the computer and the Zoom platform, as you can see, is pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple to get to use. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the computer or you're not working a lot with that regularly, this should be fairly simple to come in. If you have any trouble, you can always reach out to Meredith, and she can help you as well from our office. But what I was going to say was pretty cool about being on the computer is that you can chat. You can type into the chat function and interact that way as well. So what will happen as we progress through the course is we may have you interacting on that chat function. We may take your phones off mute at certain times. Obviously, if we have everybody off of mute, it becomes impossible to do anything. But we'll take you off mute at different types of at different points during the training. We also have live demonstrations that we'll be doing with class members and whatnot as we go through this. So we'll bring people on camera or on or off of mute to participate in the live demonstrations as we do those. So if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm going to actually share my screen with you. Those of you on the computer will be able to see it. And actually just one moment. I want to make sure that I've got a couple of slides that I'm going to share with you as we progress through our training here. Make sure we're on the right slide. Okay, one second. My screen will be shared with you as well. So now you should be able to see me as well as my screen. And this transformational, it was fascinating. You know, I've been in the field of personal development for about 20 years now. I think most of you probably know me or know of me, and that's why you're on the call. Some of you may not know me. This may be new. And oops, that was not meant to happen. Hold on. I need to stop my share if I can find my cursor. This is weird. Hold on. Technical glitch. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna stop my share just for a second because it was not meant to be on a timer. And one sec. But I see. Okay. I see what's happening. So All right, so you get to see a couple slides in the future each time. That's not ideal, but I'll tell you, this keynote is kind of, no worries. All right, so I'm going to be sharing with you. Let me stop my share and just see if I can be a little bit more precise. If I just share with you, I'm seeing if they give me the opportunity to, no, they don't. All right, no big deal. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here. And this course, when I got into personal development about 20 years ago, one of the first things that somebody had mentioned to me, and it was a good piece of advice that I got, was they said, get certified in hypnosis. And if you got certified in hypnosis, you'd have the basic skill set to go out there and start coaching people and working with people, which was really what I was headed toward. I was a personal trainer at the time. But I always knew that I wanted to serve people on a larger scale. I wanted to incorporate teaching skills on a larger scale and make a bigger impact, make a bigger difference. And hypnosis became the vehicle that I used to dive into this entire career path. So for those of you that are looking to do coaching profession, maybe you already are a coach or a teacher or a consultant or something like that, or maybe, and you want to augment your skills, which you'll certainly do here. If you are none of those things, but you'd like to be, this will absolutely give you a skill and skill set that you can start with immediately. And when I learned this skill and skill set, I gave away all my personal training clients and I dove in and I started my new career path. So it's absolutely something somebody could do. I wouldn't recommend doing it quite that way because it was a little abrupt and harsh for me to cut off all my income and burn the ship so so quickly. So there was no turning back. I personally wouldn't do it any other way, but it wasn't comfortable each step of the way. So I've got better ways for you to do that if you're looking to do that. I'd say though, about 70% of the people in the course are coming in just for the personal development, which is awesome because the personal development that you get from this is really, it's really second to none. It's really something that's quite powerful in terms of a modality for transforming your own thinking and transforming your own life. And I love this quote here from Jacqueline Purcell. It says, you must unlearn what you've been programmed to believe since birth. That software no longer serves you if you want to live in a world where all things are possible. And essentially, that's what transformational hypnosis is about. It's about learning to reprogram our consciousness so that we can create that which we want in our life instead of what we might have gotten otherwise. And we can lead other people and help other people to do the same. As we go through this course, you are going to be learning how to use transformational hypnosis with other people. So it's a modality you're going to learn for other people. So that's the way we'll progress through exercises and that type of thing. However, what's not immediately obvious is as you do that, you're building the skills and the skill sets that it takes to work with yourself. So the path to getting to working with yourself will be learning to work with somebody else with this particular model. In fact, in the session that I'm doing right after our session with our class that's just about to graduate, our focus is now on self-hypnosis using all the tools that we've learned throughout the course. And it'll go the same way with you. As you go through this course, you'll be systematically learning processes for working with other people, but then we'll bridge it over and teach you how do you then use it all with yourself, as I'll be working with the other class to do after our class today. Having said that, I'm really thrilled to be here with you guys. I'm really happy and excited to be teaching this course. And I'm really excited for you in terms of the direction that you're going to be headed with this. What I found as we've been going through this last course that we've been teaching is that I think that we're able to drill down even more. That, when I do a live course, I'll teach transformational hypnosis over a 2.5 day period of time, and it'll all be jam-packed in. But I don't get as much contact, quite frankly, as we even get on this live course, I found, because I'm able to field questions from everybody in the course and things like that. Now, if you have questions that you want to put in the chat function, and if for some reason I'm not able to get to that particular question on that particular day, Meredith has been on the course as well here from my office, and Meredith is writing questions down that I don't get to, so I can come back and I can respond to it in the next session. Sometimes if I'm teaching a certain content segment, and people are putting in questions that are out of right field, right? They might put in questions about something that was covered the previous week or something like that. That can become distracting for me. So what I would ask you to do is do your best, if you have questions that you're going to be writing into the chat function, to keep it contained to what it is that we're covering in that moment. If not, you could say, hey, this is going to be a question for another time, but you know, and then that way Meredith will hopefully capture that question, write it down for me, and I can come back and I can get it at a different time. If I start to read questions that go way beyond the scope of what we're talking about and stuff, sometimes it can mess with the flow of the content. So I've got to make sure that we stay on flow. And it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm teaching each content segment in a way where you get it, where you're able to use it. So if I'm talking, for example, about if we're talking about self-hypnosis, and you ask a question about the history of hypnosis, which was covered in a different place, it can become jarring from a consciousness perspective, and from and certainly I wouldn't be able to answer that right there, because then the content doesn't get to be taught. So just so you know how we flow through that and how we're doing that. Questions for any time, Chelo says. Great question. How's induction good, different from guided meditation? That's an example. Thank you, Chelo, for marketing it out that way, because I can't take that question right now. Otherwise, it'll keep us from getting to what it is that we need to get to. There will be a point. See, there's a lot of, there'll be points throughout the course of the education where we'll get things fully covered. And that question, for example, will be fully covered in the course, but it's got to be covered at the right time. Yeah. So just a little fun. Let's jump into a little bit of content and we'll get into a little flow here. It says, can you imagine what it would be like to have the power to forge instantaneous change in anyone, have the ability to transform debt into wealth or depression into fulfillment, snap your fingers and instantly have the desired lifestyle? Essentially, for me, that's what hypnosis gives us the power to do. It gives us the power to change our consciousness, to it's kind of interesting because hypnosis is really a misnomer. Hypnosis is Greek for nervous sleep. We'll be talking about that a little bit, but it's Greek for nervous sleep. That's what hypnosis actually means. It's not actually what it is, though. And that's, and we'll be going into that deeper as we progress. So there's a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis, most of which involve going to sleep or getting conked out or going to some otherworldly place where you're not going to hear things and not be in control. And none of those things are true. Right. So hypnosis is actually, you know, for the purpose of helping us to awaken our imagination, so that we can produce more powerful results in our life. And your imagination, as Einstein famously said, is more important than knowledge, because all of the world is governed by imagination. All of your problems are problems of imagination, and all of your solutions are solutions of imagination. So when we learn to take charge of our imagination, which might oftentimes be running amok, so our imagination might be running amok and taking us down pathways that we don't want to go, or creating problems in our life that we don't want to have. And so the process of learning how to use transformational hypnosis is in place so that we can more powerfully guide people's imaginations in powerful ways as well as our own. And we're going to be looking at how to do that throughout the course of the training. We're going to be talking a lot about change, but I think there's a difference between change and transformation, right? So it's been said before that the more things change, the more they remain the same. We can change things till the end of our days, change it here, change it there, change it back, change it over here. But when we talk about transformation, we're really talking about, at least from my perspective, I'm talking about structural transformation. Right? When does a diamond ever go back to being carbon or coal? And the answer is no. Does a butterfly ever go back to being a caterpillar? The answer is no. And the question becomes why? The answer is because there's been structural transformation. And with structural transformation, once that's occurred, you never go back again. Right? And so that's the kind of transformation that we're looking to forge when we forge transformation in our lives. And we've got a lot of different tools for forging this type of transformation. In this particular course, I'm going to be teaching an 8-step model for transformational hypnosis. It's a very powerful model. It's one of the more powerful models that exist out there for tying it all together and giving you steps from A to Z or A to Z for my Brit friends. It's for giving you an order and sequence of steps that you go through that will facilitate transformation for somebody in many, many, many different types of situations. It doesn't mean necessarily that it's the tool that's going to work for everything that we could possibly work with. There's a story that somebody shared with me once from the book Chicken Soup for the Soul. And in the book, there's a story about a young Indian boy, Native American boy, right, that goes and he's going out to catch a buffalo, and he's got his quiver and he's got his arrow and he's ready to go out there and catch a buffalo. And his dad comes up to him and his dad says, well, son, where are you going? The boy says, Father, I'm going out to catch a buffalo. And his father laughs at him and he says, but son, he says, you only have one arrow in your quiver. And the boy says, well, yes, Father, I only have one arrow. He said, but aren't you the best archer in our tribe? And his father says, well, indeed I am. And he said, and didn't you teach me, how to shoot a bow? His father said, indeed I did, son. And he said, well, if you're the best archer and if you taught me how to shoot, then all I should need is this one arrow to go out and get that buffalo. His father laughs and he says, well, son, he says, the reason why I'm the best is not because I can shoot the farthest or shoot the straightest. He said, the reason why I'm the best is because I've made some distinctions that other people haven't made. He said, you see, you never know whether that buffalo is going to be above you or below you on a horizontal plane. You don't know if the winds will be coming from the left or from the right. And he said, the reason why I'm the best is because I've made distinctions and I understand that there's a different type of arrow for everything, every eventuality that might come up. The reason why I'm the best is because I know how to pick the right arrow to go out and get that buffalo. And that story, I think, speaks beautifully to the idea that, here you're going to be learning, you're going to be receiving a very, very powerful arrow for your quiver. This arrow is the 8-step model for transformational hypnosis. And it's extremely powerful. It can work with a lot of different things. We'll talk about scope of practice and that type of thing later on in the training, and different types of things you can work with. But you can work with everything from smoking cessation to weight loss to doubling your income to manifesting your dream career to attracting your soulmate. It can work with many different things across the spectrum, but to think that this one arrow might be sufficient to go out and work with everything from from financial success to paranoid schizophrenia might be a little naive. Who here might agree with that? If you agree, please write yes into the chat function. This will be the participation part. So if you agree with that, please write yes into the chat function. Yes, thank you. So it might be a little naive to think that we can work with anything, everywhere, anytime. But having said that, it's a very, very powerful arrow for your quiver. We have a lot of courses that I teach and a lot of advanced instruction as well. As a matter of fact, I've just, because we had such great success with the previous transformational hypnosis class that we launched, I just took a big leap of consciousness and decided to do for the first time ever our full NLP and Ericksonian hypnosis course, which is much longer than this course. I've just decided to launch one of those. It's a much more expensive course as well. I mean, but expensive is all relative, right? It's the stuff that when I came out of this particular course, out of our transformational hypnosis course, I did exactly what I was told. I was told to start charging $150 an hour because I wanted to be a coach, and I did it right out of this, this level of training. And it wasn't even as much training as I'm going to give you here in this course. But with the skill set of hypnosis, I went out and started doing that, and I built a career up. And then after that, I went in, I got further certified and trained more. And then I was told charge $300 an hour. And that's what I did. And that's what I tell people with my NLP as well. So we've just decided to launch that course as well. That's going to be kicking off on April 16th. We're going to be doing that course for the first time. So even though you're just starting the course, I will put it out there for you so you know, and so that it's in your consciousness. And you can even write down the web address if you want to check it out. You can go to legendarynlp.com, www.legendarynlp.com, and you can see the whole page for that course We've got the shopping cart on that is only open until the 5th of April, and then we're starting that course on the 15th. Could you go through both courses simultaneously? Yeah, you could. So there's nothing that would prevent you from doing that if you wanted to go through the other course as well. But the only reason why I launched that course, and it's a much more comprehensive course, although once again, you're going to, as you go through this, don't underestimate the power and impact and the full breadth and width of this course, because it is quite profound, and there's a lot in this course, and there's a whole bunch more in that course. So it's, you can check that out at legendarynlp.com. But so anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited with this format. And you can learn more. If you want to add to your skills and skill sets, we've got a lot more to do. If you like this, you're going to love the other things that we do. So you'll hear me from time to time, I might mention neurodesign engineering. And in fact, even the 8-step model that we talk about is based on, we use an acronym for the hypnotic process, and the acronym is engineer. And that comes from neurodesign engineering. What is neurodesign engineering? That's just my hybrid blend of all the things that I've studied over the past 20 years and brought together to deliver transformational coaching and transformational teaching, and to help to uplift people's consciousness so that you can go out and make your life everything that it could possibly be. The question is, why do you want to master these things? First off, I think that these skills are the most important skills that you can ever learn. You know, what do they teach us in school? They teach us reading, writing, and arithmetic, and to sit down, shut up, and do what we're told, all of which can be very important. But to me, they don't teach us how to make our health better, or make our relationships better, or you know, go out and make the kind of money that we want, or have our dream career. And with the power of our imagination, we can tap into all of those things, and we can bring them into existence where previously they might not have even been possibilities. So we can open up new doorways of possibility where previously they didn't exist. So that to me is very, very exciting. It's about becoming a modern day alchemist, if you will. Alchemy is the ability to transform lead into gold. And what transformational hypnosis does is it gives you the ability to transform lead into gold in your life, or help others to transform lead into the gold in their life, to create the lifestyle that you desire, or help others to create their desired lifestyle. And, you know, if you just stop and imagine how valuable you'd be for the world with those skills, if you could really do that, if you could really help somebody, for example, to double their income. Well, what's that worth to? And that's doubling their income. I think that's kind of a minor change in relationship to some of the real transformation that we can do with people. Some of the most valuable and most rewarding work that I've ever done has been working with things like cancer. Now, having said that, this first skill set is not necessarily the complete skill set somebody would need to go on to work with more complex issues. However, you know, just scale it back here for a second, because to help somebody double their income, especially if somebody's in sales where their income is performance-based, that's not a challenging thing to do, right? So how valuable would you be? You know, let's say somebody makes $5,000 a month. To double their income, that's $10,000 a month. That's not just once, it's not just a one-off, that's every month. So if you were doing this professionally, your rates would pale in comparison to the type of transformation that somebody could get if you really assisted them to facilitate that type of transformation. And once again, I've been in the field for 20 years, and we've had lots of that and more, you know, much more, way beyond that. I think one of the things that you're going to find most rewarding in this course, and as you progress, is the transformation that you help people to create. Because you know, when you get to hear back from people whose lives have been transformed, that's amazing. If you choose to work with people, and I know many of you will choose not to work with people, I will recommend that you go out and do 10 sessions, even if you don't want to do it professionally, just to get it under your belt, having had done that, because it's going to improve your skills and your skill sets. And I'll talk to you about how you can do that, and we'll go deeper into that. But one of the magical gifts that I've gotten along this path is that every time I worked with somebody, my own mind was expanded in terms of what people are capable of, and in turn, what I'm capable of, right? So there were things I saw, I've seen amazing things. I saw a woman that I worked with at one point turn her hearing back on. She had about 90% hearing loss in one ear, and we worked on reworking the neurology, and her hearing turned back on. I've seen so many things, and it's like, wow, if that's possible, what else is possible? And so I'm very excited as we progress, and we got a lot of transformation awaiting here. Who am I? Why you should listen to me? I think most of you know who I am, but just so you know, I founded a few different companies along the way. Did over $100 million in sales of my seminars over the years. Created the largest NLP training, NLP and hypnosis training company in the world. Had Australia's largest personal development presence for almost a decade, and about probably the second largest in the UK. I've written a couple of best-selling books, done $1 million sales days over and over and over again, but it wasn't always that way, right? It started out, when I started out, I lived near Shelley. I lived in El Porto on like, I think it was even Shell Street, Shelley, and El Porto. And I was living in a garage that they were tearing down while I was living there. And, it was like this little garage thing that I lived in, and I started pouring into the books and diving in. But I'll tell you what, when I got trained in hypnosis, it was a turning point for me, because then I you know, even with my personal training clients, I said, you know what, I actually, when I say do 10 sessions with people, I did them with my personal training clients, went out and started working with them, and they started getting such amazing results. I thought, wow, why am I babysitting them on a daily basis rather than just doing a few sessions with them, setting them in the right direction and saying, now go? Because I found that would happen in personal training. You know, I would go in and I'd work out with people, and some people would show up a few times, and then they might say, working out doesn't work for me, and they might not come back. But if you could change their beliefs, change their attitude, change their thinking with the power of hypnosis, that person would find themselves at the gym falling in love with the process of eating right and working out, and they get lean and trim simply because of the new direction that you set, because of the momentum that you set. And so that, to me, is really powerful, right? This skill set changed the direction of my life. Actually, it was right around 1994. You can see a picture. There's me with my long hair. Hey, that's in 1994. That's right around when I was first started studying hypnosis, much as you are here right now. And now, since then, I've had the opportunity to live all over the world, to travel around the world, helping people to transform these lives. And this was the initial skill set that sent me on that. What I did is I advanced, and we have more trainings that we teach, more things that you can learn. And I skilled myself up. And I think you never stop learning, right? You want to do what you do so well that they can't take their eyes off of you. And it's like Andrew Carnegie of US Steel said. He said, if you want to ensure your preeminent success in any field, make yourself the master of that field. So if you have big goals and huge aspirations, then this should be a starting point for you. Now, I know some of you have actually trained with me in my advanced trainings. You may already be trained in NLP and maybe trained at the master level with me, or you've been through our speakers training and some of our other courses. Fantastic. Even if you've been through my other courses, especially if you're over in Australia or if you're in the UK, I've never taught this particular 8-step model in those countries other than the course that we just launched before you guys. So this is pretty exciting. So even if you've trained in advanced things, this model, you're going to find it incredibly profound. And the people who trained with me deeper are the ones who were mostly coming back to me and telling me, oh my God, this course is amazing, because the 8-step model can really tie things together in a way that gives you a really straightforward way to use skills for transformation. Anything that you've learned from me at advanced levels, if you train with me at advanced levels already, can be done inside of hypnosis. And anything that can be done inside of hypnosis can also be done outside of hypnosis. And you'll learn more about that as we go along. So I've been blessed over the years to have traveled all over the world, training in Bali, and there I'm in Morocco. I've run seminars in all these places for thousands and thousands of people all over the planet. And that, to me, whether we've taught programs in the Maldives and in Bali and the Caribbean, all over. And the reason why I say that to you is to impress upon you that when you start, for those of you, especially but whether you choose to do it professionally or not, when you start getting the right skills and skill sets, you can create the lifestyle that you truly desire. I believe your lifestyle is the flavor of your existence, and it may not match or mirror the one that I like. I happen to love to travel and love to teach all over the planet, but it's really these skills and skill sets that have enabled me to do that. And to travel around the world and to forge relationships that have made my life richer, and to have the opportunity to teach to thousands of people. So if that's a path that you're on, we're kindred spirits in that sense, and I'm happy to be a part of that path. But I would say that the thing that has enriched my life the most as I've been on this path is just the opportunity to make an impact. Some of the charitable work that we've done as a result, as a direct result of what you're about to learn, has been what's made my life the richest. Yeah. Now, in terms of who we are and what we offer and the types of things that we can do, we have our entire Fast Track to Success, which is our entire training series. The Fast Track to Success, traditionally, I would teach my Breakthrough to Success seminar around the world. Many of you have been through it. Now I've got a new program that I've just launched, and you all get a free set of tickets. So if you're in the Los Angeles or the New York area, or you're going to fly in, because I know like Laura's on here, she's in Ireland and she's flying out to New York coming up, or New Jersey. Sorry, I just throw the two together interchangeably. It is actually in New Jersey, but it's right over the bridge from New York, right? So you do get a free set of those tickets. If you, we've sent some emails out. If you need any help getting a hold of those tickets, you can reach out to Meredith as well. But we've got our Your Ultimate Breakthrough Seminar, which is my weekend seminar. It's a transformational experience that we're doing in Los Angeles. That's going to be the weekend of April 12th through the 14th. We've got one in New Jersey, April 26th through the 28th. And you also are included as part of that if you'd like to join us for that as well. That's the base level seminar that I have. And that's usually most people's first point of contact. Although for you in this course may be your first point of contact with me. Right? Beyond that, just so we don't miss the forest for the trees, we also have our NLP results certification. So it's got a foundation of NLP in that course. That's, if you think of this course as being a course that if we were to teach it live in a live classroom, the course that we're in, the Transformational Hypnosis course, it might take us 2.5 days. Here it's going to take us, we're going to do this course over a 2-month period of time, and we're doing deep dives into things. The NLP results certification will be twice as long, and it's going to be, and it's more robust. Here you've got a 15-page manual. I think there it's a 300-page manual, just for, to give you an idea of the scope and the size of that course. That one, so now you have the opportunity. You can actually do that live with me, although I'm only doing it live in a classroom environment in Los Angeles and New York this year. But we now can do it online. And so that's the one that we're going to be launching on April 16th with the shopping cart closing on the 5th. We also have the master level. The master level is the second half of the full body of knowledge for making transformation with people, for facilitating transformation with people, where we go deeper into values and belief systems and changing the basis of personality. Because we could change somebody's thinking and change their behaviors, or we could get even deeper and change the basis of personality that would create the thinking and create the behaviors in the first place. And that's along the lines of what we teach at our master level, where we go into quantum physics and all sorts of fun stuff. We have a transformational speaker certification, which I've been told by my peers is the best speaking training in the market. We've trained thousands of people all over the planet, had the trainers from the biggest names in personal development that you'd know of that have come through that speaker's training, and it's really quite phenomenal. I teach that once a year right now, and that's only in Los Angeles. We have summer trainings coming up in LA where we'll have a series of, we'll teach the NLP results, master results, transformational speaker back to back in LA. So if those things interest you, you know that we've got those things happening. We have our Billionaire Bootcamp training that some of you may have done with us already. That's where I teach that in Hawaii once a year. I believe it's in November this year. And we go in and I hypnotize you for 7 days straight to think like a billionaire and set you free. So that's a phenomenal training that we do. We also have a professional speaker training and in these speakers training, we're using all the tools that we've learned from hypnosis and all of those things from a platform so that you can become a spellbinding, dynamic, transformational speaker. So it's not just a speakers training as all of these, they're not just speakers, it's using the psychological models and using the transformational models that we do. At the professional speaker training, we teach you how to monetize the speaking business, how to sell from a platform, how to sell on webinars, and how to make money doing it. And then I've got my what I call my Millionaire Business Accelerator, which is part of my mastermind, where we help you to build a business and build a $1 million scalable plus model for a business so that you can really get your business up off the ground should you choose to join us for that. So this is our entire Fast Track to Success. And we do have coaching. that is kind of the glue that glues all these trainings together. So we also have a coaching path that you can do as well. The coaching is rather inexpensive, so it could be a good thing to think about augmenting what it is that you're doing with. It's $200 a month, and we do every month we do 8 calls a month with our coaching. So it's probably the least expensive way to get some serious training beyond this class. Yeah. So different types of things that we have, and we can talk about that as we go. Here, I'll tell you about, we have one of our students, Keith Blakemore Noble. Some of you may know him. He had been unsuccessfully looking to get his seminar business going. He came in, joined the trainings, ended up teaching worldwide as a result of doing that. And the question is, are those the kind of results that you're looking for? If they are, this is a great place to be as well. Yeah. So here's the thing. Talk about big picture for this training. Part 1 in this training is the foundation. We're going to be going into the foundation of transformational hypnosis, including the history of hypnosis and neurodesign engineering. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Part 2 of this training. So I really break it up into like 3 parts, this training. Part 2, you'll be learning the steps. You'll be learning, or at least the steps in the hypnotic process. You'll be learning the first, second, then I skipped third, fourth, fifth. So you're going to be learning a lot of the steps of the transformational process. You're going to be experiencing live demonstrations. Now, here's how the demonstrations are going to work. We will be doing demonstrations of things like smoking cessation, weight loss, pain control, different types of things like that. Now, we can't always do all of the demonstrations, and we might have to change some of them out, and it just depends on who we've got in the class. So, for example, if we don't have a smoker in the class, I'll swap that out, and we might do financial success instead or do something else, but I will fully explain how to do the smoking cessation one way or the other. What's fascinating about the 8-step process that we use is that you can really use it with any, when I say anything, I mean anything within the scope of practice with which you'll practice with after going through this class, and we'll go deeper into that as we progress. Okay, the third part of this training is all about transformation. So you're going to learn we're going to take 2 of our steps out of our transformational hypnosis process, which is step 3 and step 7, which is where you learn how to actually do the therapeutic aspect of it, the coaching aspect of it, the transformational aspect. Not that it's all transformational in nature, but we're taking these segments and we're going to be teaching those to you differently so you can get the entire structure of how to deliver a transformational session, and then you can learn what to do inside of it. That's kind of the way that we'll be going. We'll be going into follow-up sessions. How do you deal with something after a first session with working with somebody? I'll also be sharing, if you're looking to get out there and do this professionally, I'll be sharing with you marketing, how to get up there. I'll be sharing with you marketing tips. We'll do it in one of our sessions that we do, which if you accept these tips will help you to get out and running with little to no cash outflow and big cash inflow, if that's okay with you. So that's the trajectory that we're on. So we got a lot of good fun coming our way. What I'd like to do as we start this course, because this is our first session, is start by setting some goals for this course. So what is it that you want to accomplish as a result of being here? So break out a pen, break out a piece of paper if you would. And by the way, you don't necessarily need your manual with you for today's class, but we did send that out to you. We emailed you the manual. If you've printed it up, fantastic. You can bring it with you to each class. I know that we had sent you we had sent an email with the wrong manual. It was there was a version that was being edited that somehow went out to you. But so we replaced it. We sent you the right manual out. It should have a cover that says Transformational Hypnosis on it with a guy meditating. That's your manual for this class. Print that manual up. If you don't have it here today, no worries. Bring it the next time. You can use a blank piece of paper if you want, if you don't have the manual with you. And the manual just helped to guide you through the processes. There is a page in your manual where you have the opportunity to write the goals for your course on it. So the first page or the second page of that manual, if you want to open up to that and write your goals in there and keep it all in one place, you're certainly welcome to do that. If you just want to write them down someplace for yourself, other than that, that's fine too. Okay, with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little goal-setting music on. It's the official goal-setting music of 2019. And what I want you to do is take 5 minutes. I want you to set some goals for this course, right? What do you want to have happen as a result of this course? So you can think of goals of what you want to achieve from a skill and skill set perspective, but also be thinking of what do you want to create in your life, in the material world. And I want you to make your goals so big, so grandiose, that when you get them, it will cause you to say that this was the most important seminar or training that you ever took. Make your goals that big. So what do you want to accomplish as a result of this? What do you want to have in your life? Do you want to launch a new business? Do you want to launch a dream? Do you want to build a clientele? Do you want to create an income? Do you want to attract your own soulmate? Are there things in your life that you want to create as a result of your hypnotic skills? Totally up to you. You got 5 minutes to play full out. What do you want to create in your life, or what do you want to have? Make your goals so big, so grandiose, that when you get them, it'll cause you to say that this is the most important seminar that you'd ever attended. Ready, begin. 5 minutes for goal setting. What do you want to have happen as a result of being here? What do you want as a result of being here? You can set as many goals as you want. Take just a minute or so more to wrap your thoughts of what you want as a result of being here. What you want to create in your life. All right, wherever you are right now is right where you're supposed to be. We'll stop the goal setting right there and come on back. So here's the thing. Let me give you just a few suggestions for this training, which if you accept these suggestions, you'll get the most out of the training. You'll get a lot of transformation and we'll have a lot of fun. First suggestion is to make sure you participate fully. That's really critical for this course because I'll tell you, when we just launched the first one that we did, I had some reservations because I didn't know how effectively I'd be able to close the communication loop and know how people were integrating the skills from afar, right? So it's the not being there right with you. But it was like, okay, how am I going to make sure they're doing their exercises? How are we going to, go through all of that? So there's a lot of responsibility on your part that you get to embrace in order to make sure that you're getting what's happening in this course. And the number one responsibility is to make sure that you're actually doing the exercises. That's critical. So as we go through, because there will be home play, there will be exercises that I give you. And when we go into our next session, so when we do Thursday's session, we're on Tuesday right now. When we do Thursday's session, we'll be helping you to pair up with somebody else in the course as well. So you've got somebody that you can work with from afar. You can do your exercises. What we've recommended to people is to jump on the Zoom platform, just as we are on right now. They've got free versions of it. You can do a free version of it where you can interact with somebody and jump on, and you can both have video and stuff. And so you can go through home play assignment and go through the exercise with somebody from the class. But I also, for your exercises, recommend to you that you do each exercise twice, once with somebody from the class and once with somebody offline. It could be a friend, a family member, something like that. They're not going to do, in that case, if you're working with somebody outside the class, they're not going to do the process on you. You're only going to do it, you're going to facilitate it with them, for them, in relationship to them. But I want you to have that experience. I want you to have the experience of both doing the exercises with somebody who's in cyberspace, because we are living in a virtual world these days where you can reach out to people all over the planet. That's part of the magic of what we're learning, because you can develop a skill set where you can work with somebody from a beach in Belize and it sets you free. So I think this is one of the most freeing skills that you could ever learn. That's part of the magic. So to be able to do it online, but being online has its own sets of limitations when it comes to hypnosis. The reason why I say that is because you're not sitting right with that person, able to notice every minute shift that occurs within them and and be able to read them as effectively when you're a little bit further away and you're on camera. So there are some unique challenges that come into play when we do it online versus offline. And so there's going to be certain things that you'll adjust a little bit for when we're delivering it via cyberspace. And there are going to be other things where you'll adjust it, do it a little bit differently if you're live with somebody. So I'd like you to have the experience of doing each exercise twice. Oh, I ran out of breath. I needed to breathe before I said that. Of doing each exercise twice, once with somebody in the physical world and once with somebody online. So that'll be a good thing. But you do want to participate fully so you can go through those. And for certification, you're gonna sign off, and you're gonna sign off on each exercise and verify that you did each exercise. You're just gonna let us know. It's the honor system, but you're gonna do that, and we'll have some testing that happens throughout the course as well. But participation is required. I don't want you to just come in here and hear some concepts and ideas, but not get it into your neurology and not get it into your body, because if you just hear things, you won't be able to use it. You have to get it into your neurology. You have to practice the processes, and that's what gives you the ability. And then I can give you the coaching, the feedback over time that helps to raise your game and elevate you to the point where you can actually do it really, really well. So that's the goal. So remember to participate fully as we go through this course. Another thing is really important is to have fun. Have a good time when you're doing this. I like to have a lot of fun when I teach. I think is the best way to teach, the best way to learn for sure. Because literally when we're having fun, when we're learning, we're anchoring the learnings deeper in at the unconscious level. If somebody's in a state of boredom and they're in a learning environment, where does the learning go? It goes right out the, might not even pass the blood-brain barrier, right? It doesn't go through, right? But when we're having fun, what we are is we're engaged. And that's the real key to learning is engagement. So having fun, participating fully. All of those things are important. Playing at 100%, giving it everything that you can. The other thing that I'll say is as you go through this course, make sure that you remove all distractions from your environment when we have our session times. If you've got phones ringing and stuff, that can be a challenge. If people are coming in and out, do your best to put yourself in a distraction-free environment so you can really be fully present, especially when it comes time to doing demonstrations and stuff, when you're watching the demonstrations, or surely if you were participating in a demonstration, if we were using you as a demonstration subject, you wouldn't want people walking in and out and things while you're that demonstration subject in that situation. So just be aware of your environment. Make sure that you're in a place where you can really devote yourself to this while you're doing it. And I fully know that, some of you may not be able to do all the live sessions. If you miss a live session, no worries. What'll happen is you'll get an email within 24 hours after the course that after each live session that will give you a link to the replay. So you can go and you can pick up the replay. I do, however, think that the live sessions are really important. I know that I'm talking a lot in today's session and we're not interacting as much, but we will be interacting a lot more as the sessions progress. We're just laying the foundation for the course. We haven't even really started. We'll officially start on our Thursday course. So this is just the foundation to lay the ground so you know what's happening and you know where we're gonna head. And with that said, we're just about at the top of the hour, but we're gonna jump off here because I've got the other course that's gonna be coming on and I'm gonna be continuing with them. But I wanna say, hey guys, I'm so thrilled that you're here for this course. Get excited, we got quite the journey ahead of us. We've got, for those of you wondering when does it end and stuff, it's about 20 hours. I like to leave myself a little leeway on the end. So if I want to go a little longer, do an extra session or something, because I feel like I want to cover something a little better, I'll do that. So while I won't give you the exact date that will end, it'll be, I think we were looking, what was it, mid-May? I think I said like May 23rd or so. What month are we now? We're March. This is my, where are you, Chris? My brain. This is your brain on hypnosis, right? No. Just kidding. We'll go about 20 hours. So it'll be 20 sessions, which means about 10 weeks, right? So we can plan for it to be that. If I need to go a little bit longer, we will. With that said, I'm going to say over and out, guys. I'm going to say much love to you. We will see you 1:30 p.m. In Los Angeles Pacific Standard Time. It's the same time we did this session 2 days from now. And we'll see you there, guys. Rock on. Ciao.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. You got it, guys. See you soon.